Hi, my name is Andy Rasman, and in this video, I will do my best to answer a question I received this week from someone reading First Peter. First Peter, chapter 1, verse 1 reads, Peter, an apostle of Jesus Christ, to those who are elect exiles of the dispersion in Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia. So here's the question. Is Cappadocia in this verse the same Cappadocia that is in Turkey today? The answer that I have found, and I sadly couldn't have told you this before receiving this question and doing some research, but the answer I found in short is yes. Cappadocia is a province that was part of the Roman Empire, and today it is part of Turkey. So if you go there today, it's a place that people visit because it is very unique in some of its geographic features. It has it's a region that has fairy chimneys, and they do look pretty neat. It's also a region that's known for its many caves, and so there's a lot of tourism to look at this place. People I've seen visit it, people have travel blogs refer to it almost as being on a foreign planet, that it looks almost like you're on Mars or something. But they all say it's very pretty. So the earliest Christians date back to being in Turkey, in Cappadocia. In Acts chapter 2, you see that there were Jews from Cappadocia that were in Jerusalem for the festival of Pentecost, and that they were some of the ones then converted to being Christians. So early first century, they're getting letters from Peter. So early church there. In the third and fourth centuries, the church used these caves for their churches as well as for monasteries. By the 1920s, though, wow, many Christians killed in Cappadocia. Um, I guess before then, even the 1200s, Muslims came in, and then you have the Ottoman Empire, Muslim ruled. So not too many Christians then. But in the by 1914, though, 20% of the population um, in Turkey was Christian. By today, though, by 2014, only 0.2% were Christian. It said that at least 3 million indigenous Christians were savagely killed during World War One by the Kurds. So, and the stuff they did, very heinous. This is part of the Armenian genocide that we've heard some about. It doesn't get as much historical recognition, I don't think, as say the Holocaust did. But definitely very brutal, and the things that happened there are just horrible from the little bit that I've read. To tell you more about Cappadocia, though, here is an entry on Cappadocia from Unger's Bible Dictionary. It's a province in the eastern part of Asia Minor. Its boundaries were changed several times by the Roman emperors. In the New Testament history, it comprised Lesser Armenia. On the day of Pentecost, it was represented at Jerusalem, Acts 2:9, and Peter refers to it in 1 Peter 1:1. Hence its interest for Bible readers. It's also of interest because of the influence that the Cappadocian fathers had in forming the language that the church uses to express the Trinity. So the language that the church uses to express the Trinity is that God exists in three persons in one essence. So that language of three persons in one essence comes from the Cappadocian fathers. Here's some of their history. Arius was an early 4th century priest who taught that Jesus was not eternal. He taught that Jesus was a created being, the same way the Mormons today teach that Jesus is a created being. To formulate a Catholic response, and by Catholic I mean lowercase c, a united, universal response from the church to the teachings of Arius, the Emperor Constantine called the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD. So that was the main reason this council was called. This council rejected Arius' teachings, which is known as Arianism, and formulated the Nicene Creed as a proper Trinitarian statement, which adopted the term of one substance to refer to the oneness in divinity that the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit all share. So they share in one substance. After the council, not every church bishop kept the Nicene Creed, and they fell back into Arianism. Soon after the Nicene Creed, Gregory of Nazianzus, probably mispronounced that one, Basil of Caesarea, and Basil's brother Gregory of Nyssa were born. All three were from Cappadocia, and they were friends and worked together to advance and cement the formed language of the Trinity, that God exists as three persons in one essence. Their preaching and writing was significant in putting an end to Arianism in the 4th century and was crucial in the Council of Constantinople in 381 that reaffirmed the Nicene Creed. Together, these three men are known as the Cappadocian Fathers. So, three church fathers come from Cappadocia, and that's what I got on Cappadocia. And what's fascinating is I'm sure we can dig in and find um, lots of interesting history of the other places mentioned in 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 1. And as I discussed with someone earlier this week from my church, the Bible, man, wow, there's so much in it. You can look at it again and again and never get to the bottom of it. There's so many different topics to research, so many different things to discover and learn from it, so many questions that can be raised. And I'm thankful at the moment to be able to work for Oak Road Lutheran Church and have some time in my week to look into such questions that I do receive from people at the church, as well as from just, other people in my life and online that shoot me questions. All right. God bless.